This is Shuttle Launch Control.
Okay, QC, we're going to be doing this on 145. Correct.
And has degrees both from Pennsylvania State University and the U.S. Naval Postgraduate School. They're on their way now out of the door of the ONC building. Commander Paul White's waving to the crew, entering the Astrovan along with the mission specialist. Carol Bobko went over and shook hands with somebody who wished him well on their trip. The van being closed up by the security chief for this particular job, Gene String, and they're on their way to the pad, and a launch on time at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this afternoon. This has been an exceptionally smooth countdown ever since it picked up. A 93-hour countdown, which was picked up on Wednesday afternoon and proceeded up to Saturday night at midnight. There was a 24-hour, 10-minute hold over Easter Sunday, and then it was picked up at 10 minutes after 12 this morning and has been proceeding smoothly ever since. The only concern has been a weather concern, and there is continuing analysis of weather balloon data, which we should probably receive about the T-minus 50-minute point. However, a management decision was made about 9 o'clock this morning that we were go for launch with the upper level winds. Everything going smoothly, the countdown clock at T-minus 2 hours, 34 minutes and counting. This is Shuttle Launch Control. Reached the White Room on the orbiter access arm and are preparing for their entry into the crew compartment. The NASA test director has asked that the orbiter test conductor conduct a checklist of all of the engineers monitoring those systems and determining that there's no violation of launch commit criteria prior to allowing the astronaut crew to enter the crew compartment. Commander Paul Whites and Carol Bobko in the process of putting on their harnesses. Carol Bobko joined the NASA's astronaut corps back in 1969 and was a crew member of the highly successful Skylab medical experiments altitude test. This was a 56-day simulation of the Skylab mission, enabling crewmen to collect medical experiments baseline data and evaluate equipment. He also was a support astronaut for the Apollo-Soyuz test project and served as a lead astronaut in the test and checkout group at the Kennedy Space Center on the first flight of Space Shuttle. Carol Bobko is considered by the people at the Kennedy Space Center to be an honorary member of Kennedy. In the process of putting on his Snoopy hat and his launch and entry helmet, which is a hinged helmet that is placed in place and then locked around the neck, makes a seal for the launch and entry to provide both communications and life support functions. In the past, when the spacesuits were used during the launch and re-entry phases, the helmet locked to a ring on the top of the suit, but now a different sort of device is being used. Everything going smoothly in the countdown. I've had a report from the support astronaut that the switch list of switches inside the orbiter has been configured for entrance of the prime crew into the crew compartment. And Commander Paul Whites, or P.J. Whites, has entered the crew compartment at present in the orbiter, preparing for launch, which we expect to be on time at 1:30 p.m. The countdown going smoothly. the clock at T-minus 2 hours, 13 minutes, 8 seconds and counting. This is shuttle launch control.
112 and 119.
I copy. Thank you. OTC, close out crew. Go crew. Okay, commander and pilot are being ingressed at this time. Thank you, sir.
And OTC from ASP to caution, warning clear is complete.
Thank you.
Okay, we'd like to turn
The
off
mission
the
specialists for STS-6 are presently in the White Room, getting ready for their entrance into the crew compartment of the Orbiter Challenger.
We copy flight control.
Mission specialist Donald Peterson is a retired colonel of the Air Force. He's also a graduate of the U.S. States Military Academy at West Point and has a master's degree in nuclear engineering from the Air Force Institute of Technology. Peterson joined NASA back in 1969 and served on the astronaut support crew for Apollo 16. His main areas of responsibility within NASA have included engineering support, man-machine interface, and safety assessment. He's in the process of hooking up his harness. Actually, the harness that the astronauts are wearing is used in case of an emergency, and there are two parts to it. One is an integrated harness and egress sling, which would be used for exiting from the orbiter in the case of an emergency landing. The other portion is called the personal egress air pack and provides oxygen where they would have a contaminated atmosphere. This differs from the harness worn during previous flights because for the first time, operational type seats are available in the orbiter. The Columbia, which we had flown on the first 5 missions, had been configured with ejection seats for the test program and with temporary seats for the mission specialists. With the Challenger online, we've moved into an operational type seat for the entire onboard crew. Also getting ready for his entrance into the orbiter is Dr. Story Musgrave. He has biomedical sensors attached to his head, which are part of the ongoing program in looking at the cause of motion sickness in space. Dr. Musgrave is a medical doctor in addition to having degrees in mathematics and statistics, business administration, and computer programming, chemistry, physiology, and biophysics. He was selected as a scientist astronaut by NASA back in 1967 and worked on the design and development of the Skylab program. He was the backup science pilot for the first Skylab mission and was a capsule communicator for the second and third missions. Dr. Musgrave participated in the design and development of all of the Space Shuttle extravehicular activity equipment. During his period with NASA, he has also kept up his clinical and scientific training as a part-time surgeon at Denver General Hospital. He's an accomplished parachutist and has made over 300 free falls, including 100 experimental free fall descents involved in the study of human aerodynamics. The countdown going very smoothly. Some of the activities which the pilot astronauts, Commander Paul Weitz and Carol Bobko, would be going through once they've gotten into their seats, gotten the seats adjusted, will be to begin their communication checks with the control center here at Kennedy and also at Mission Control in Houston. Mission Specialist Don Peterson taking a look inside and is just about to enter the orbiter. The countdown clock at T-minus 2 hours, 7 minutes and counting. This is shuttle launch control. "5 minutes and counting." Dr. Story Musgrave is in the process of donning his entry and launch helmet and preparing for his entry into the crew compartment on board Challenger. And Don Peterson, the other mission specialist, will be the next to put on his helmet. The ground launch sequencer computer program has been started. That will actually be placed online at the pickup of the countdown at the T-minus 9-minute point. The solid rocket booster rate gyros have been turned on, and a gaseous nitrogen purge of the solid rocket booster aft skirt has begun. The rate gyros are used by the orbiter navigation systems to determine the rate of motion of the solid rocket boosters. During their 2 minutes of flight, the simulation of the first motion of the shuttle has been sent to the Johnson Space Center Range Safety and Firing Room to test the system, which indicates liftoff. This signal also starts the clock, which keeps track of the mission time. Everything going smoothly in the countdown as we look forward to launch at 1:30 p.m. this afternoon. Dr. Story Musgrave making some final adjustments of the cabling which is attached to the various sensors on him, biomedical sensors which are used in the study of motion sickness in space, and will be entering the orbiter shortly. Unlike previous flights aboard the Columbia, all 4 of the astronauts will be able to sit on the flight deck during the launch and the re-entry. The countdown clock continuing at T-minus 1 hour, 53 minutes, 3 seconds, and counting. This is Shuttle Launch Control.
Flight controls, OTC. We have a hack on when we might pick up with the reconfiguration? Yeah, 2 or 3 minutes. All right. OTC, GLS 212. Go ahead, GLS. Yes, GLS.
This is Shuttle Launch Control at T-minus 1 hour, 40 minutes, and counting. At the present time, 3 of the 4 crew members have entered into the orbiter Challenger and are in the process of preparing their particular area for launch. Commander Paul Weitz and pilot Carol Bobko have been in the process of making sure that their seat height was adjusted, the rudder pedals were adjusted, and that the pitch knob was tight, and then have checked their ascent cue cards and checklists and attached the tethers. Mission specialist Dr. Story Musgrave has also entered the crew compartment, and he is in the process of getting himself settled in his seat as well. In just a short time from now, Mission Specialist Don Peterson will also be entering the orbiter. He has been in the process of attaching his harness, and next will be putting on his launch and entry helmet, and then moving into the crew compartment. As soon as all of the tasks, sort of the housekeeping tasks, have been completed, then the support astronaut will be removing a number of items from the crew compartment. They include such things as the personal equipment transfer bag, the launch and entry helmet visor protectors, the various checklists, inspection mirrors, pin lights, the mid-deck floor covers, the reaction control system and OMS engine switch guards, and the flight deck protective flooring. These are things, some of these are things which protect the surfaces of the orbiter from any damage that might occur from people walking on them while the orbiter is in a upright position during and in a 1G environment. Of course, when it's in 0G, there's a much lighter touch as the astronauts move around the crew compartment. And now Mission Specialist Don Peterson in the process of putting on his launch and entry helmet, and then we'll be moving into the crew compartment. Everything going very smoothly in the countdown. The next step will be communications check with the firing room and air-to-ground voice circuits between the commander, pilot, and the mission specialist. The countdown clock continuing, T-minus 1 hour, 37 minutes, 16 seconds, and counting. This is shuttle launch control. And the hatch on the orbiter Challenger has just been closed. The hatch was closed by the technicians in the closeout crew in the White Room after the NASA test director talked to Commander P.J. Weitz and asked him whether they were ready to be closed in. And he said, gave a go for that. And so we're proceeding along our timeline to an expected liftoff at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this afternoon. During the last few minutes, an abort advisory check was conducted. This is one of the backup systems which indicate that a major problem has been detected and the crew may have to get out quickly. This particular check involves a light which is used to signal the crew if normal voice communications have been lost. On the pad, they must open the door, get out of the orbiter, run to the slide wire baskets, and ride down the wire to the bunker or M113 armored personnel escape vehicle. The escape vehicle is positioned at the bottom of the slide wires, and the astronauts have a choice of either using that or going into the bunker. We've had an indication that because of the weather at White Sands that the prime abort once around landing site will be Edwards Air Force Base in California. The weather at Edwards appears to be satisfactory, along with that at Dakar. However, at White Sands, which would normally be an abort once around site, they have gusts of winds up to 50 miles per hour there, and they have blowing gypsum and visibility of about 1/2 mile. Here at the Kennedy Space Center, we have beautiful conditions on the ground for launch, expecting a temperature of about 75 degrees and winds gusting up to about 15 knots. Everything going smoothly. We're standing by for the final word from the last weather balloon, but as of now, we are go. The countdown clock, T-minus 1 hour, 13 minutes, 40 seconds, and counting. This is shuttle launch control.
Okay, QC, we're going to be doing this on 145. Correction, 143. Okay, ECL, you want to go over there? ECL copies. Okay, 3-liter OTC. Go, have that crew go. Yeah, go ahead, CCSC. Crew leader, do you have an OMTO you put over there on the 143, please? In just a few minutes, we're going to finish up the latching, and we'll do the seal link check before we start into pressurization. All right. I'll give you a holler. Thank you. OTC, this is CHCD 212. Go ahead, Ken. Okay, I'd like to advise you of this condition we've been assessing, the problem we picked up on IPR 1330. Yes. The problem appears to be an indication of talkback from the aft sample valve. If that, and it's intermittent. Okay, tell you what, has gas go 161. Okay. With TPE? Copy. TP copy.
Hey guys, it's Lee here. If you enjoyed what you've just watched, don't hesitate to click the links to discover more from space and beyond the infinite.